Hello and welcome, welcome and hello and welcome and hello, guys. What is going on here? It's a two for Thursday. I know I did sort of a disjointed, horrible SoFi video earlier this morning, but so much has transpired. Just had to come back and give you sort of my 2 cents, if you will, or my 1.725 billion cents on this. Money raise that we're all talking about here after hours obviously sent the stock into a bit of a free fall after hours. Not too bad. Not too bad. I just kind of want to take a look at, my take at least on why I think a lot of people get money raises wrong. I think the big part is just the market sentiment. If you just kind of take it as, hey, caveman logic, money raise bad, dilution bad. A lot of retail investors have this impression that you know an offering like this is essentially stealing part of their equity because the pie gets bigger, therefore their piece of the pie gets smaller. But the way I want you guys to think about this, if you can wrap your pea brains and tiny wings around this concept, is basically they are buying a small portion of each one of your shares. So if SoFi has approximately 1.2 billion shares outstanding, and they're raising approximately $1.725 billion if they do the over allotment, the 15%, which they always do, because they're getting a discount to the current share price. Now, a lot of people were going to chat GTP and saying, what's the offering price on this money raise? And they're like, it's $20 and some cents. And they're not realizing, their chat GTP or whatever is not up to date. So they're actually using the price from the last raise, which I think was last July. Now they haven't spent that money. They still have that money on the books. Perhaps strength that people are kind of saying the opposite. Oh, the S&P committee hates to see, money raises and unstable share counts. The S&P wants to see a stable balance sheet, a stable, profitable company. Okay, the important thing to keep in mind, they're buying a portion of each one of your shares. They're taking, zero, they're taking 4.7 or 4.8% of each one of your shares, and they're giving you about $1.44 minus whatever the discount is. Usually, 5% or something off the more recent share price. But it's not going to be $20. And the way to look at this is a lot of us were buying in the fours, fives, seven, eight. Hopefully you were buying that dip back into the eights just this year. And so it's actually an enormous vote of confidence that this is overprescribed, and, Goldman and Citi and all these, of course they're running the deal to make money, but it's the relationships Noto has. He's a financial genius. I mean, if anybody and I think they're going to come out, and sort of put this into context like they did with the cap call deal and all these. I guarantee you Noto is not doing anything stupid, and he's not doing anything that's going to make the company weaker, and he's not doing anything to harm shareholders. They're buying a portion of your shares. They're not stealing your equity. You have to look at when are they diluting you? When are they raising? They're raising money from a massive position of strength. If you look at just, the company was just down in the eights in April. And then if you go back a little bit further, I mean, it was just August 2024, you're back down in the fives or, near six, whatever it was. So if they had to raise money and, this type of an offering when the share price was 5 or 7, I would say, yeah, bloody murder. You're better off, taking on debt. You're better off issuing bonds. You're better off doing any number of things than diluting shareholders at 5. But we're not at 5. We're near 30. So you're talking about 6 times the price, or from 7, or even from 8, which we were at, 9 that we were at this year. You're talking about, 3.5 times the price. So you're getting a hell of a lot for your money. If this was last August and you had to do this money raise, you'd have to give 6 times the amount of shares. There would be 6 times the dilution. This is not a lot of dilution to put, $1.725 billion in the company's coffers. And that's what I don't get, why people think this is bad. To raise money at this share price from institutional investors, this level of confidence, they're buying and buying and buying. I mean, we looked at that earlier. We looked at that yesterday, looking at that all the time. Who's loading the boat? I mean, JP Morgan Chase is now like the largest SoFi shareholder, and they just raised their price target from 28 to 31. What happened when they raised their target to 28? The stock went right to 28. I mean, it's like a barometer. JP Morgan Chase may not be as big a trader as Vanguard and BlackRock and, you know, Goldman and some of these guys, but in terms of the portion of their business that's devoted to, you know, scalping retail investors and giving us guided barrel tours of the lower 48. But JP Morgan is, you know, the 800-pound gorilla in any room. And Jamie Dimon is not a genius, incidentally. But, you know, when they say 31, a little spidey sense says, hey, this stock is probably going to 31. They have a lot of influence. JP Morgan says, hey, we think this stock is going up. We're buying the stock heavily. Everybody's going to listen to that. This isn't some chumpy, you know, RBC or Barclays or, you know, one of these Swiss deals on the verge of insolvency. This is JP Morgan, the most powerful financial institution in the world by far. So take it for what it is, guys, but it's all in how you look at a money raise. You have to put it in context. Now, if it's Jaguar Health and your company just has no money to pay the bills and keep the lights on, and you're basically desperate and you're just diluting the hell out of shareholders at some horrible price, obviously, you know, run for the hills, sell your shit. If you see a company in hyper growth, growing the top line over 30%, especially when that company is engaged in so much lending activity. And LaPointe was talking about the fireside chat, you know, and I was lifting this off of Roy's video, which I watched earlier, which is an excellent video. I highly recommend you guys subscribe to Roy's channel because he's literally one of the best guys on SoFi. But, you know, it's all perspective. If you think about it, the fact that these institutions are buying shares at much higher prices than we were buying shares, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as much as many of us OG, you know, IPOE, wannabe suburban tiny wing gangster douches were buying these shares at. They're overpaying. They're paying us a ton for these shares. Think about it like that. They're not just giving this money to some general corporate purposes. They're giving the money to us. We own the company. It's our lemonade stand. Don't get it twisted. These guys are paying us a very high price for shares. This is bullish. Don't let these, you know, these tweakers get inside your head. Look at the price action on this, guys. Look at the price action. You tell me, is this not dialed in on the news? They're capping this thing right at 29.50, you know, kind of artificially bring. They always drop this thing at the end of the day. Always. Why'd they bring it up to 29.50? They're sucking in a few more retail. Then it falls to exactly $28. Just free fall, stops at 28. That's not programmed in or anything. Test 28 again. Then comes back, you know, comes back up to exactly 28.50. Back down to almost exactly 28. Back down almost. It's just a ping pong with my testes. You know what I mean? Just batting the old boys around with a freaking, you know, mallet, little croquet mallet to the old testicles. Okay, then falls down 20, and then they peg this thing and they just start algo holding it at 27.75. And this slope from here to here is like exactly the same line. I mean, the algo is working very, very hard on not just Neo, but it's going to take this opportunity to try to work over SoFi and try to push the stock, I think, back down under 20. I don't think it's going to happen. I think by tomorrow, the entire narrative is going to change. If you look at what happened after the last money raise, the stock recovered back in higher than it was before the money raise in 2 days, and then almost immediately went to all-time highs. Source on that is a stock goat. So I don't know why everybody's panicking. This company needs money to grow and needs money to make more money. Their lending activities are extremely profitable, and they're talking about doing more. They're talking about expanding their lines, their SKUs. There's so many things that could be happening. It could be an acquisition. I mean, I don't know if I'm, you know, super excited about that, you know, based on the last two and the returns. I think the returns are there, and they're just a little bit more on the intangible side, but they think they made the company tremendously stronger. But if you just change your perception and you say, hey, we could just buy shares at 5 and 7 and 9, And now some of the smartest people in the world, some of the richest people in the world have made the decision that they want to pay closer to 30, depending on what the discount, from the closing price and when the closing price was, even if they did want to pay 21 right now. And they could raise this money at 21. I'm not going to cry about that valuation. I'm not going to be happy about it because the stock's probably going to fall down. Usually the stock falls down to lower than the offering level, and then it recovers very, very quickly because it's idiotic. Because what are they doing psychologically? They're saying the cash is worth nothing. Your shares didn't get 4.8% less valuable because the company got a commensurate amount of cash that's basically the exact same thing those shares are worth, just minus a small discount that goes over to Goldman so they could keep the gold-plated toilets running. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, one sec. Sorry, guys. I forgot what I was talking about, but basically, this is all about psychology. It's all about perception. And they always want you to think money raised, dilution, evil, bad. It's evil and bad at $5 a share. It doesn't bother me at all at $28, $29 a share. It doesn't really bother me at $25 a share. If you see the cash flow situation of this company, the cash position, and you look at the rate of growth and you look at what they actually do, it's capital intensive business. I mean, I know the fee-based stuff and all that's becoming larger and larger part of everything, but if we can make more money lending and bring more to the bottom line, we can do all that tech stuff simultaneously. These are two different divisions, These are two totally different things, but they're very complementary and related, and they make each other more profitable, more credible, more synergistic, cross-selling, lower customer acquisition costs, all that stuff. And personally, I don't have any insider information or anything, even though Anthony Noto is my biological father. But I think something very big is coming. Perhaps Noto knows something. I'm not saying he does. I'm sure he doesn't have any, connections on Wall Street or anywhere else. He's worked with at Gold. Guy probably knows everybody in the world. Everybody in the world. He knows Kitty Woods. He's personal friends with Kitty Woods. And the bald oracle, Jim Cramer, is doing everything for the charitable trust. That dagger was for the charitable trust. And that's comedy bit, guys. I'm not implying that Cramer does copious amounts of Peruvian wham wham or ever did. Never implied that about Felix either. Felix, whenever I'm in Monte Carlo, I really love to party. Let's write some options, motherfuckers. Love me some Felix. Guy goes from like super intense to super chill. Like, when I says, it's Felix. Someone says, hello, I'm writing options. I'm on about 6 quaaludes down here. The Mediterranean Sea, it's glorious. I love U-turners, just analyzing them. First Amendment audit. First Amendment audits just keep me up at night. Like, what's happening to this guy? They detained San Joaquin. They let him go. It's an unlawful detainment. No arrests. You need reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime either has been committed, is being committed, or is about to be committed. Otherwise, it's an illegal detainment. How do you join the First Amendment strike team? I'm not a rail-thin guy who looks like I've been doing meth my whole life with color change glasses on. Very trashy, low-budget prison tats. I guess it kind of makes sense because if you've had negative interactions with law enforcement, you probably will lead you in, to the First Amendment auditing community. My favorite First Amendment auditor is Jeff Gray. He's just, holds a sign that says, God bless the homeless veterans. And that sign pisses people right off. But only rich white people. Like, let's be honest. They're the only ones that would make angry because they're the Karens. I mean, I'm the Karens. The call is coming from inside the house. I'm not rich, but at least like an upper middle class fat white person. I'm actually pretty ethnic, but I just don't look it. I'm actually fatter than I look too. But anyway, I have no idea where I'm going with any of this, but my point is they're going to buy these shares up as fast as they can. Institutions are buying today, at 29 and in the 28s all day long. They were buying after the ER in the 30s because they know where this stock is going, and that's way, way up. And they were probably not going to get S&P 500 inclusion, to be honest with you. I think, the boys, the Canadian FinTurd Mafia was accurate when they're saying 10, 11%, whatever, this time. Maybe it could be 15% chance. I don't know. But I think there's definitely a better than average chance that SOFI gets in the S&P 500 next year. And that's going to send the stock up. I mean, it's going to stabilize the stock. We have high institutional ownership probably by that time. If it's middle of next year, late next year, institutional ownership might be closer to 70, 75%. They're going to follow, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Vanguard, Goldman, the who's who of market makers, market gods. They don't just, analyze the market. They make the market. They send the stock where they want it. They don't guess. They push. So I don't know. This isn't even scary at all. Oh my God, it fell to 28. It was just 23.50 like not, 2 weeks ago. A week ago. A week and 2 weeks ago, whatever this was, 10 trading days ago, it was 23.50. And they want us to, panic at 28, panic sell here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people are just selling. I don't know why anyone would sell on the back of this offering. This company is absolutely crushing it. It's going to let them earn more money, perhaps let them make, some type of big acquisition, big move, perhaps a huge new product that requires, a certain amount of capital. Who knows? I don't know. I hope they announce small business banking soon. I know that's, waiting for the OCC and all that, but I mean, maybe they need money to, fund some type of crazy crypto expansion. Maybe they're going to, buy crypto. I don't know. Crazy things happen. Maybe they're going to spin off one of these, miner companies where they become a, refuge of SOFI stablecoin. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Razzle dazzle. Think about when the Stripes, the gang from Stripes taught themselves basic training. Razzle dazzle. Why did the chicken cry? Great movie, Stripes. Ugh. Harold Ramis, very talented writer, director, whole thing. Anyway, guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Just a little bit about this offering and why I just think people will completely misunderstand. They're not taking your shares for free. They're buying your equity at a much higher price than you bought it. Would you be angry if you bought shares at 9 or 6 and somebody came along and gave you $28 for them? I don't know why this gets us everybody up. They have to raise money. Noto is very strategic. Why, how, when he raises money. He has a plan. He's smarter than you. He's better looking than you. He's more successful than you. Trust the man. He has earned the trust. He wants to get bonuses, just as much as you do. So thank you, Not a Lurker. I didn't bring any water. I'm going to end this video anyway. I just try to open up your mind a little bit and not just eat the narrative. Oh my God, this is the end of the world. No, I'm not saying it's like the most bullish thing ever, a money raise. I mean, it would be much better if we just had loads of free cash flow coming in and, but this can fund all kinds of things. If nothing else, it just funds lending. Going to make a huge spread. I don't mind selling shares at, in the high 20s and funding business operations that are, very, very profitable. Having good margins and always improving margins, or recently improving margins anyway. I don't know, guys. I just don't think this is going to, if the market goes green, I don't think this is going to hold SOFI back. I think this company's got too much going on. This was coming into the ER at 31, and the ER was, arguably a home run, at least a triple, at least a B plus A minus ER. And I would argue maybe it's a straight A. I mean, I would have liked to seen, more tech customers, obviously. Now, we always say that. It's like a broken record. More tech customers, more tech customers. Anyway, thanks, Not a Lurker. I just wanted reassurance from Not a Lurker. Nafa Feppo and Mila Aguilera. Better hope than our affairs are shedding our money. Yeah, Yeah, you and my friend are telling me about all the whining people and about all the SoFi Reddit, and I just, yeah, I mean, guys, everybody's a fucking Karen. Everybody's the sky is falling. Everybody's Chicken Little. Nothing is the end of the. You think Noto is going to do something to destroy this company when his next bonuses come in at 35? He's going to push the stock to 35. Him and his friends. He's lifting in the basement with Joe Rogan. Come on, you want to take our pants down? We take our pants down. We're men. We're lifting. If you have not done the basement lifting bit that Joe Rogan did, don't listen to it. It's gets a little dark. Yeah, well, please don't equate SoFi with the Raiders. Please don't do that. You're gonna give me nightmares, night terrors, worse than I have them already. No, SoFi really, guys, please. We loved Noto a couple hours ago. We thought he was the smartest guy in the world. And then he does this money raise, and all of a sudden, you think he's an idiot. You think he's trying to stab you in the back and steal your shares. He has plenty of his own shares. He wants his own shares to be more valuable, and he wants more free shares. You know, he doesn't want to crash the stock. He's going to put this in context. It's all going to make sense. We're going to see what the plan is. We're like, tell us the plan. Give us the roadmap. You didn't tell us anything about the last one. You can't reveal a lot of stuff in business. You can't come out and say, this is what we're doing. Even if he, redacts the names, you can't do it. You can't roadmap it. You can't tell your competitors. You can't even tell your friends what you're doing, much less your enemy. Mrs. Noto doesn't know the roadmap. I don't know the roadmap. And Anthony Noto is my biological father. Paraphrase great Tracy Morgan. Noto's he's massive shareholder. He's almost as many shareholders that freaking Vampire Chamit. Anyway, guys, I got to get the hell out of here. There was really no point to this video, but just get a grip, everybody. Get a grip. All they're doing is they're selling a little bit of your equity at a really high price, and you want to have a heart attack about it. They need money to grow. They need money for business operations. They need money for lending. Everything needs money. And this is a good price for that money per share. Had to force this back at $9. You got, 3.3 times the share count, 3.3 times the dilution. Noto knows more than you. He's better than you. He's smarter than you. Shut the fuck up, you stupid retail Karens. Nafa Feppo. Happy holidays, everybody. Peace.